Windy but not too hot. A perfect day for some Super Formula racing. All right, here's the starting grid for round one. On the pole position is Yamamoto with Team Mugen. On the second grid is Kunimoto, followed by Sekiguchi on the third grid. On the fourth grid is Stoffel Van Dorn. On the fifth grid is Nojiri. On the sixth grid is Kogure, followed by Tsukakoshi on the seventh grid and Kobayashi on the eighth grid. Andre Lauter starts 9th, followed by James Rossiter in 10th. Izawa starts on the 11th grid, followed by Bertrand Baguette on the 12th grid. Narain Karthikeyan starts 13th, followed by Nakajima on the 14th grid, followed by last year's champion Ishiuda on 15th. Nakayama starts 16th. Oliveira starts 17th. Bowler starts 18th. And Daisuke Nakajima starts on the back row. There you have it, the starting grid for round one. And we'll go down to the pits for an interview with our pole sitter. I did get the pole, but this morning I was in last place, so I wasn't quite sure. The car felt pretty good, but I can't make any changes on the grid, so as long as I put out 100%, I think I can do it and come home in first. There's an interview with Kunimoto. The qualifiers went really good, and I'm really glad that I could start in the front row. It's a big chance and opportunity for me, and I really feel strong. I just really want to put in a good race here. Here's our rookie, Sekiguchi. Third is a pretty good position for me. And I really want to come back in a good position as well. And by good position, I mean winning the race. Doesn't matter if I start on the back row, I'm always looking to win the race. Look forward to my racing. And I believe we can get an interview with Van Dorn.
Just only 3 cars in front of you, and lots of fans look forward to your winning.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it would be a dream if I could win today. I mean, it's going to be tricky. You know, the people in front, they are very quick as well. I don't have much experience on the long distance as well. Pit stop, refueling, it's a lot of things I have to take on board. But I feel I'm as ready as I can be, and yeah, hopefully we can make a good result out of it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Shame it was not like that yesterday, huh? Yeah, difficult day yesterday in qualifying. Changed too much the car and got confused, and now we put the car back to what it normally is, and it felt great this morning. Only problem is I'm starting 9th, so made my life difficult, and it's not so easy to overtake. I think these tires, they need a lot of downforce, so behind other cars you lose downforce, so the tire is difficult to work. So let's see. I mean, it's the first race on this tire for everybody, and so for a good start, and hope I can make my way to the front.
Good luck.
Thanks.
That was an interview with Andre Lauter, and as he mentioned, we have a new tire provider this year, changed from Bridgestone to Yokohama tires. This is the first race, so there's still a considerable amount of unknowns, right?
Yeah, there are rumors about the durability of these tires, if they are good enough, and we might have a lot of degradation during the race, which will make the race very excited. And as qualifying performance, the tires, they work well. As Lotter said, when you miss some downforce, suddenly you lose like the rear of the car. But it can make like the race very nice to see if the cars they are following each other, like to lose downforce, and to see like some nice moving or action. Let's see.
As we see the cars entering the formation lap, today's race format will take place over 43 laps, approximately 250 kilometers in distance. As we look at the map of Suzuka circuit here, tire change will not be mandatory, but without substantial amount of data, that may be a significant risk for these drivers. A lot of unknowns, but Suzuka is also really hard, lots of quick turns in and out. So let's see how the tires perform.
Yeah, that's right. All the drivers, even without the tire change, they can go through the end, but they need to refuel because even if you start with full tank, the fuel is not enough until the end. This is the onboard of Stoffel Vandoorne. As Andre Lotter said during the interview, it's not easy to overtake here in Suzuka, but having the overtake system on the car, you can use this system for 5 times. It will give you some extra power, and it will be very important to use in the right moment this system, and I believe the chance to overtake is here in this point, at the chicane braking, or if you have a good exit and the good traction here at the chicane, you can overtake at turn 1. This is the 2 points. It's quite easy to overtake if you have a good car.
Current temperatures in Suzuka is 24 degrees Celsius. Surface temperature is about 34 degrees Celsius. Not too hot. The green flag has been waved and the lights are on. Once they black out, the 2016 season will begin, and off we go. A great start, it looks like, by the pole sitter Yamamoto, who steady in front.
Yeah, also Vandoorne is jump up from first to third position, is just behind Kunimoto.
That's right. As some of you may have noticed, Sekiguchi stalled before the formation lap. Maybe he has some problems with his car.
Yeah, he couldn't move immediately at the formation lap, and we could see even a mechanic that he was going there to touch his car. Let's see. But at this moment, he's now running 4th position, and it looks okay.
As many of you know, the start is absolutely crucial in SuperFormula. It's really important to get off to a good start.
Yeah, in SuperFormula you have almost the same system of a Formula 1 car. You have the hand clutch, so you have to work with your fingers and to have a good synchronization between finger and the right foot, and it's not easy. And we could see the Honda's drivers, they had a very good start. Until last year they were struggling under the start procedure with the clutch meet, and I heard that from this season they changed their clutch system, and it's the same of Toyota's drivers, and it seems it works.
That's right. The playing field has been leveled. They're using the same device as Toyota, so it should really help them out in their starts. As you can see, Yamamoto got off to a great start, and the Honda cars, there's a number of them in the top half of the field as it stands right now. So it's going to be extremely competitive, even more than last year.
Yeah, that's right. In qualify, you are usually running with low fuel, and for the engine is less stress. But in the race, starting with full tank, is more demanding to have the power. But at this stage, the Honda's user seems to be in good shape, and they are not missing any power. They are doing well.
There's some traffic building up in the middle of the pack, which is filled with former champions and a lot of talented drivers. So a lot of excitement going on in the middle and the back half of this field right now, as Yamamoto looks really comfortable already in lap 2.
Yeah, he's making gap to Kunimoto. He looks in very good shape. Even the lap time, the opening lap and in the first lap was already very quick immediately.
So Ronnie, what do you think? We're in lap 2. How would you approach this? What kind of strategy would you employ? You don't have the data for the tires. Do you think you want to change tires? What kind of timing you want to refuel?
I believe as we saw in the qualify, there was a few very high-level drivers that they had some problem in the spin-off, and that they are behind now, and it will be difficult for them to overtake easily the cars in front. And maybe for them the right strategy is to pit in at early time in the window that you can go through the end with the fuel, and having a clear track, no cars in front, they can push hard, and like Ishura or Oliveira, maybe this is the right strategy for them.
Right. As I mentioned earlier, the tire change is not mandatory, but cars will have to refuel to make it the whole 250 kilometers.
Yeah, I believe they need to drive at least 10 laps.
Here's the replay of the start. Excuse me, Ronnie.
Yeah.
As you can see, lots of action, lots of left and right movement. Yamamoto just got off to a real steady start. And Van Dorn also jumped out third place. Great start by him, and a lot of congestion in towards the middle of the pack.
A very nice move by Stoffel Van Dorn. The action to the light was impressive, perfect.
Kogure also had a really good start as he's approaching in the inside of turn 1. Real tight there. Great move by Kogure as well. There's the start of Van Dorn. As you mentioned, a great start by him.
Yeah, the way he released the clutch and we went on throttle was really perfect.
He's known to be a really technically sound driver, really smooth handler of the car. And as you can see right there, got off to a real great start from the first race.
Yeah, to come here in Japan in SuperFormula, as he said in the interview, he has to learn a lot of things, and the start is a very important one, and he succeeded with that, which is a great start for Van Dorn.
Now, how much do you think the experience with these Japanese circuits will play into his results? Do you think that matters, or is he just going to approach each turn as it comes?
Yeah, being a McLaren driver, he's very professional. I believe before coming to Japan, like before entering to new tracks, he's doing like a lot of studying with the simulator, and he's for sure very prepared. Also, the SuperFormula physically is very demanding car. You need to be really very prepared to do training and to be in the right condition. And I believe Van Dorn is really okay 100% under all this point of view. And it seems, he's doing a great job. And now we are with Andre Lotterer.
Andre, who's had some problems in the qualifiers, just doesn't seem like he's as fast as he usually is.
Yeah, last year he won the opening race of the season here in Suzuka, Andre Lotterer, and it seems it's not too easy for him to jump up.
As you can see, the team name has changed from Petronas Team Toms to Vantolin Team Toms. The color scheme has changed for their car as well. A lot of cars have changed their color scheme.
Yeah, that's right. Especially for Toms, from the Petronas sponsor to Vantolin, is quite different, but they are still the same Toms team and the strong team.
With about 40 years experience as a team, so lots of experience as a team.
The team, and they have Andre Lotterer and Kazuki Nakajima, two very quick and experienced drivers.
And there's still Kazuki and Lotterer still in the middle to back end of the field, but they definitely will not go quietly for sure. There's a battle raging between Lotterer and Nojiri as Andre approaches the 7th spot.
Yeah, Andre is just behind Stoffel Van Dorn's teammate, the young Japanese driver Tomoki Nojiri. Nojiri is well known to be a very quick driver. Let's see if Lotterer can.
This is Lotterer's teammate, Kazuki Nakajima, who's trying to move up the ranks, and he just passed Kartikian, I believe.
Yeah, he's trying to overtake him at turn 1.
Right.
Yes, he
great
succeeded.
usage of the overtake system there. As you can see, the lights are flashing above his helmets. That means that the overtake system is in use. So look out for those lights above the driver's helmets.
This is Sekiguchi. He's already. This is a 10-second penalty stop.
Sekiguchi has been assessed a 10-second drive-through penalty. I believe there was some contact, perhaps?
Maybe, as we said before, at the start of formation lap, one mechanic, he was touching his car because he couldn't. I think he has some trouble with the gear, and I believe that is the reason.
10-second penalty is huge, especially when the field is as competitive as it is here in SuperFormula.
Yeah, 10 seconds, then you have to enter the pit is massive loss.
And as you can see, Yamamoto is comfortable.
He's making gap to Kunimoto, and even that Kunimoto is doing really well. As we can see, the lap time is consistent, low 42 seconds.
Looks like the gap is increasing bit by bit, though. Yamamoto really, really comfortable. Kunimoto saving his overtake boosts. Still, he has 5 more left to go. Van Dorn
is there, very steady driving. For him, this long distance race with new Yokohama tires, he has to learn a lot of things. I think he is there trying to see the move in front of the pace of Yamamoto and Kunimoto. And I think he's not just quick, Van Dorn, but he's also very clever driver.
Here's our first pit of the day, and it looks like Izawa has entered the pits. He's the first to go. Now, what do you think of this strategy here? He doesn't look like he's changing his tires, just refueling.
Yeah, maybe he was. I think he was stuck behind the traffic, and I think it's a very good strategy. And this is Oliveira is in at the same.
Oliveira, the second to pit in, and it looks like he's already used up all his overtake boosts already here in lap 13. It looks like Oliveira is changing his tires.
Yeah, that's right. He's changing the tires. Let's see the pit stop timing.
Oliveira is also, his car is also, the color scheme has changed, so it's kind of unusual to see him in a white car, but
yeah. And here we can see the red car. This is Izawa. He pitting 1 lap before. He didn't change tires, and we could see the advantage that Izawa just ran off at turn 2.
His tires, he didn't change his tires, so it was properly warmed up. Here's a replay of that. Izawa.
A very strange spin. He lost the rear on the entry, but it didn't seem like overspeeding or something like that.
Looks like he can return back to the race. Considerable loss of time, though.
We could see Oliveira when just pit out, he could overtake Izawa. His out lap.
There's a battle raging for the 8th position between Rossiter, Kobayashi, and Baguette. The middle of the pack is very congested.
This is Kondo Racing. Maybe they are calling in a Rossiter.
Looks like they're preparing tires. Let's see if they'll actually change
Kobayashi.
it or not.
I make a mistake at spoon 2 on the entry, and he was overtaken by Baguette.
Kobayashi drops a few positions. He's desperately trying to claw back in the number 8 car.
Awa is trying to make the move. Wow, really close, both cars.
Aggressive in the chicane.
Let's see if Kobayashi using the overtake system maybe is the chance to gain back his position. But the Baguette is using the overtake system on the fanceway.
Kawai Kobayashi with Sunoco Team Le Mans. Gaining some experience in SuperFormula, not quite as successful as he probably wanted to or was expected to, coming from the Formula One ranks. Looks to really make some moves this year in the 2016 season, but doesn't look too good here in Suzuka for Kobayashi. Both Kartikian and Kobayashi really struggling to move up the field.
That's right. This is the battle for 11th position between Kazuki Nakajima and Naren Kartikeyan. Even Kazuki Nakajima, it seems like he doesn't have the perfect setup. Usually, we really every time see Kazuki fighting for the top position, and it seems he is struggling. I think for many teams to find the right setup to adapt that to Yokohama tires. There are teams that are ready, teams they are still struggling, and I think Nakajima is one of them.
All right, it looks like Kobayashi has pit in, and he's changing his tires. And he's
good pit stop.
out.
Yeah.
But he changed his tires as well, so the tires will not be warmed up. Let's see how he can hold off the...
Yeah, we have Oliveira is approaching. At turn 1, let's see if Kobayashi can defend the position.
That's right, Oliveira changed his tires early, and that's right out the gates, Oliveira passes him.
He's struggling the out lap. No grip at all for Kobayashi.
really slow moving in the outlap for Kobayashi.
I think he has some trouble with the tire, maybe.
Some more bad fortunes for Kamui Kobayashi.
The rear of the car is moving strangely. We are with Kazuki Nakajima at the pit stop. They are changing tires.
Kazuki also changing tires. A solid pit by Team Toms, and can't get out in front though. Let's see what kind of...
Yeah, Oliveira is approaching. Oliveira is pitting at the early time. He had the free space in front of him with good tires condition. He could push very hard, as we can see, he could make the gap to Nakajima, overtaking him in the pit stop timing strategy.
Let's see what kind of grip Kazuki has.
This is Kobayashi. He's still struggling. He's not back on the pace, and he lost the rear right tire.
The tire has come off of Kobayashi's car, and he's driving with 3 tires.
Wow.
Lucky for him, he was right in front of the pits. He could just enter right in.
Yeah, but his outlap speed was not there. He lost a lot of time.
Very, very dangerous there. Fortunately, no other drivers were involved in that.
It seems like the hub didn't have any trouble. I think that was probably a mistake by the mechanic during the procedure.
Wow, misfortunes continue for Kobayashi. Unbelievable.
Even last season, in his first season in SuperFormula, he had good races, bad races, still not consistent enough. You know, even for Formula 1 drivers to come here in Japan to drive in SuperFormula and to compete to the drivers that are running for many years, and to beat them is not easy. And this is the case of Kobayashi.
His teammate Narain Karthikeyan, also a former F1 driver, has pit in, and it looks like
the team was not prepared. I think he pitting suddenly. He didn't even communicate with the team. He pitting, and they are not there. They are losing a lot of time.
Definitely, the mechanics were not out. Looks like
maybe he had some trouble in the last part of the track, and he pitting without informing the team.
All right, already in the first half of this race, Sunoco Team Le Mans, both drivers having some problems with communication and also mechanical issues as well.
Yeah, the team in Le Mans is one of the biggest team here in Japan, usually. And this is Karthikeyan. He went straight at the Degener 1. It was very strange miss, because it was not it seems like he was careful during his driving, but he couldn't turn the car, and he stopped it.
Looks like his day might be over, and misfortunes continue for him as well. What a turn of events. Here's Tsukakoshi in the pits. Also a new color scheme for him, changing from navy blue to this bright, brilliant red with real racing.
As we could see during the pit stop procedure, like the regulations say, you have 3 mechanics to change the tires. It's not like F1 for each tire, you have 2 mechanics or even more. So all the mechanics, the timing to move, to remove, and to fix the tires, they need to be very synchronized, and they have, of course, a lot of pressure, to doing that. And as we could see, there are teams they are still they are doing well. Teams they are still not perfectly synchronized.
As it stands, Naoki Yamamoto is comfortable in first place, and still the top half of the field has not pitted as of yet. What kind of race will unfold as we move on to the second half? And we're back bringing you round 1 of the SuperFormula 2016 season from Suzuka circuit. As it stands in lap 28, Yamamoto has a 7-second lead on second place Kunimoto.
Yeah, now Yamamoto is behind the Kondo Racing driver Blah, which is going to be laps, and the Blah doesn't give space, and the Yamamoto is very upset.
Oh, showing some frustration there. Yamamoto, the leader, and he passes Buller. No problem there.
Yeah, Yamamoto has, of course, 7 seconds of margin to Kunimoto, but you never know, still he doesn't pit in, so you need to be careful, not to lose much time in the up-down cars.
Yamamoto, who himself is a former champion, he actually won the last race in the 2015 season here at Suzuka, so his momentum is really carrying on, it looks like, so far into the 2016 season.
Yeah, that's right. When he won the last race of the previous season, it was under wet condition at that time, and his moment for Yamamoto is doing really well.
And it just goes to show how the Honda cars really started to pick things up towards the second half of the 2015 season. And with the changes in the clutch system this season, they really, really got things together right out the gates here in 2016.
Yes, in the previous, even last season, they were performing well in qualify, even in the first season of this new SuperFormula car. But in the race, they are struggling at first at the start, and even if they were doing well sometime at the start, like they didn't have the pace of the Toyota drivers. But in this first round of this season, like the pace is there. They made a lot of progress, even the race pace, and it's very nice to see the Honda drivers so competitive.
Here's an onboard view of Stoffel Van Dorn. What do you make of his driving here so far?
Yeah, he's very steady. The Suzuka, like the truck's layout, you have a lot of downforce. Even the handle is quite heavy. Physically, you need to be really prepared, like to control the car and not to make mistakes. And as you can see how Stoffel is like turning the steering, he has the maximum control of the car. Physically, mentally, is 100% prepared.
It seems to me he's turning the wheel a little less than the other drivers. Is it just my imagination here? It just looks really smooth in and out of these turns.
Very smooth. He has the car under control, 100%. Nice. This is the battle between Nojiri and Lotter. Lotter is behind, but they cannot find the room to overtake Nojiri.
Lotter steady moving up the field here. As you can see on this list here of drivers, the H stands for Honda and T stands for Toyota, so look out for that as well. This is Nojiri in the pits.
Yeah, Nojiri is not changing the tires, just refueling.
Let's see at what position he can come out. Can he make it out in front of...
Tsukagoshi is approaching.
Tsukagoshi will pass, but Oliveira, it looks like he'll get out in front of Oliveira. He didn't change his tires, so his tires are still warm, lots of grip, so he shouldn't have any problems holding off Oliveira.
Yeah, his margin is safe enough. I think he will not have any problem to keep Oliveira behind, at least in this outlap.
Now these pits will really affect the results of these races when and where these drivers can exit the pits.
We have Takashi Kogure. Even him is not changing tires.
That's right, Drago Corse elects not to change their tires.
Yeah, it's nice to see, because I believe at first one car, like Izawa, didn't change the tires, and maybe for many teams they didn't have that in the strategy. But they could see that, they could check the lap time of these cars, they could see like the loss was not so much, and most of the cars now they are not changing tires, so it's very funny.
Kogure made it out in front of Tsukagoshi and Nojiri, so good work by the pit crew there. The top half of the field looks like they're pitting in for the first time. As you can see, Yamamoto didn't change their tires.
His move was not... yeah, it was just with the gear. I think he shipped down from first to neutral when he made the pit stop, and it was difficult for him to insert the first gear at the start.
A slight stall, but no problem for Yamamoto. Van Dorn also pit as well. This is Lotter pitting.
All these cars, they didn't change tires.
Yeah, it looks like these later pits are not, it looks like they're electing not to change their tires.
This is the first race in SuperFormula for Yokohama tires, and the tires, they are really consistent. We were expecting, as I said before at the start of the race, to have a lot of degradation, but we cannot see degradation. The tires, they are very consistent, and this Suzuka, like the track layout, is very demanding from tires, but we are here in Japan, you know, in April, like the temperature is not so high. Maybe the temperature and the rubber that is on the track, the combination is working perfectly for Yokohama tires.
This is second place Kunimoto, and it's just refueling once again.
Yeah, everybody there just refueling.
And with that, all cars have pitted at least once.
This is Yamamoto is already in front of Kunimoto, and Stoffel Van Dorn is approaching. Can Kunimoto keep him behind?
So again, he didn't change his tires, so he'll have plenty of grip to hold off Van Dorn. So great work by the pit crew to hold his position there.
Yeah, all these top position teams, their pit walks was really perfect. All the drivers, like the gap, more or less is the same of the one before pitting in.
We're currently in lap 33 of round one of this 2016 season. The top three hasn't changed. Yamamoto, Kunimoto, and Van Dorn are the top three drivers as it stands right now. Van Dorn trying to move up to that second spot.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see, like Van Dorn. He will push very hard, I believe, in these last laps of the race, if he can catch up Kunimoto.
And there's a battle raging on for the 9th position.
Yeah, and this is Nojiri and Baguette. Let's see if Baguette can overtake Nojiri. Both drivers there with a Honda engine. Can he move that one? No. Very nice defense by Nojiri.
Defense there. He used the overtake boost as part of his defense as well.
That's right. For Bertrand Baguette, I believe it's his second season with SuperFormula here in Japan, and last year he was struggling, but in this season he seems he's on the pace and is doing well.
And it looks like Rossiter has jumped out in front of Andre Lauter. Andre really struggling for some good times.
Yeah, after the pit stop, it seems like the pace of Andre Lauter is not good enough. It's not the same of the one before pitting in. And this is Yamamoto with very safe margin.
Team Tom's really struggling to put out some good times. Kazuki is currently in 12th. Lauter dropped a position to 7th. Really unusual not see either of them in the top three.
Yeah, usually they are Lauter and Kazuki Nakajima. They are both very high-level drivers, and if you don't have a Lauter in front, you have a Nakajima. If you don't have a Nakajima, you have a Lauter. But at this time, both drivers here in Suzuka, they are struggling. So it's very unusual to see this kind of performance for Tom's team.
As you can see, 4 Honda cars fill out the top 5. Kunimoto is the only Toyota car in the top 5. A couple years back, it was almost the exact opposite, with Toyota rounding out the top and Honda's in the back.
It was the opposite situation, but it's nice. It's very nice to see like Honda to be back and doing well.
And every single one of these drivers has the talent and potential to
again Nojiri and Baguette. Nojiri mistake the brake. He's going straight, and now he's giving space or no?
Looks like his rear tires were skidding just a bit, and Baguette should come out in front.
Yeah, it was very nice moving by Baguette. He was there trying to make him pressure for many laps to Nojiri, and under braking of the chicane, Nojiri could not keep the pressure from Baguette, and he went straight.
The chicane is an overtake point here in Suzuka, isn't it?
Yeah, if you close the room inside, the drivers is coming from outside. If you give space, they are coming inside. So it's very, for the driver in front, you know, like to keep and to find the right alliance is not easy. And I think for Nojiri, he even mistake the braking points because he was watching the mirrors left and right a lot.
That's right. It's a heavy braking, heavy downshifting point, so a lot of opportunity for overtaking.
That's right. You are coming like from the 130 hour, I believe it's almost flat out, and you have very hard braking from 6th gear down to 2nd or even 1st gear. So it's very hard braking. And this is Oliveira. He's in 10th position.
He's in 10th as he's approaching Nojiri in 9th.
Yeah, that's right. Can he overtake him? This is the flat out 130R. I think he's not close enough to make the move under the chicane braking, but maybe he has the chance. If he has good traction here, he can overtake maybe at almost straight, but the traction of Nojiri was quite good, and they could make still a gap to Oliveira.
Oliveira, another former champion in this Super Formula field, is still in 10th. Just can't quite climb up the charts.
Yeah, but don't forget he was starting from 17th position after the mistake in Q1 after the spin off he had. And he could gain position with the strategy, pitting him at the early time, and with clear track in front of him, he could drive and push. But you know, in this last part of the race, because of heat, I think he's struggling also with some tires grip. You know, being behind, overtaking, pushing very hard. And just to remind you that the cars that are getting championship points, they are the top 8 cars.
That's right, top 8 get points. Many teams, many drivers just want to get some kind of point to start off this season.
Yeah, even for Oliveira, you know, when you are starting behind in this opening race of the season, even 1 point is important, you know, like to get confidence and the motivation from the next round. The season is long.
That's right. The race itself, as well as the season, is a marathon, not a full sprint. So you want to get as many points as possible. And at the same time, accumulating as much data with these new tires as well. We're in the final lap, and Yamamoto still looks comfortable.
Yeah, Yamamoto is doing the airplane, 10 points in the race, and scoring the pole position. He could get 1 extra point for the pole position. And if Yamamoto can win, it will be a great start of the season and a great weekend here in Suzuka.
Really a perfect race by Yamamoto.
This is the final lap. This is Nojiri, Oliveira, and Ishiura is coming behind with the overtake system. As you can see, his overtake system, the lamps colors, they are red because he's on the champion car. That's champion drivers.
Defending champion Ishiura has the red overtake lights. As we look at Yamamoto in cruise mode.
What a margin, what a gap to Kunimoto. What a race by Yamamoto.
Fabulous race by Yamamoto. Spreading out a comfortable lead between second place Kunimoto.
Just to remind you that Yamamoto is the last driver that could bring a title to Honda in this top formula here in Japan a few years ago. And then after that, all the Toyota drivers, they won the title. So it would be very interesting to see if Yamamoto can bring back the title to Honda in this season.
That's right. Honda's poster boy looks like he's comfortable in the home stretch. He's in the final turn, and Yamamoto scores a fabulous victory in round 1. A great race by Yamamoto and Team Mugen. Kunimoto, steady as well, comes in second. And believe it or not, the rookie sensation Stoffel Van Dorn is on the podium from his first race.
Yeah, and this is the battle from ninth position between Nojiri and Oliveira. Oliveira couldn't make it.
As you can see, here are the finishers. The top 8 get points. So Yamamoto, Kunimoto, Van Dorn, Kogure, Tsukakoshi, Rossiter, Lauter, and Baguette will get points here in round 1 of the 2016 Super Formula season. As you look at Yamamoto putting his fist up, acknowledging the crowd. A great race, start to finish for Yamamoto.
Also Stoffel Van Dorn, he seems to be very happy with his first podium in his debut race here in Japan.
Right, he finished 10th in Bahrain. Now he finishes 3rd in his first Super Formula race. Here are the results for round 1. As you can see, Yamamoto is in first, followed by Kunimoto, Van Dorn, Kogurets, Kakoshi, Rossiter rounding out the top 6. Great race. And down to Kobayashi in 16th are the drivers who finished the race. 3 drivers could not finish this race. Yamamoto pumping his fists and acknowledging the crowd. Looks elated at the results. Here's an interview with the winner. As long as I can get off to a good start, I knew I could win. All the drivers are in the same position, but a lot of unknowns with the tires. Never driven 250 kilometers. A lot of unknowns. I wasn't sure, but the car and the engine was just great. You had some problems early in the morning, but it was a great win. And now you're smiling. It was like a roller coaster 3 days. And there's never a race week without any problems. But all I wanted to do was win. The engineers and mechanics really burned the midnight oil and put me in a position to win. And all the efforts and everybody's passion really came together in the end, and I'm just extremely happy to be on the top spot. Interview with our winner, Yamamoto, and he'll do the obligatory signature of the camera lens. Great win for Yamamoto. And we take a look at the podium ceremony of round 1 Super Formula. Yamamoto and Team Mugen on the top spot. And in second place is Kunimoto and Promu, Sermo Inging, and Stoffel Van Dorn on third. Here's his interview.
I think the race today was probably as much as we could have done. I finished third, very close behind second. I think Yamamoto-san, congratulations to him. He's on a perfect weekend by scoring pole position and driving the perfect race. It shows also that Honda is at the top, and it's good to have a double podium for Honda.
Thank you. The next race, round 2, will be held in Okayama on May 29th. Look forward to that. Now, Ronnie, going forward, what do you look forward to this season?
Yeah, it was a very nice start, very nice race. As we said, it was very nice to have back the Honda drivers with very great performance. But don't forget, in Super Formula you have a lot of very high-level talented drivers, and from Okayama I'm sure we will